Welcome to Marina's Kitchen. Today we're going to cook some pork calzones. It's made out of a bread flour dough and with a pork filling. So what we're going to start first is I've got 500 gram. I generally use the bread mix because it's already got the salt and the sugar through it. So all we have to need with the bread mix is to have the yeast and some warm water. So what I put in 500 gram of bread mix is 2 sachets of yeast. Now they're 700 gram each, these sachets, which I've dropped a little bit here. And that's 14 gram altogether with 500 gram of flour. And we need 300 ml of warm water. It'll take practically the whole 300 ml of warm. It's got to be warm, just warm, lukewarm, and mix it up to get a nice dough. So when I've done that, then this will make half a dozen pork calzones, which would be just nice for a dinner. I'll just mix this all up. And what we have to do is we have to knead this for about 5 minutes to get it to a nice dough, and then you rest it for about 40 to 45 minutes for it to double in size. What we do is just get it together. I like to put my hands in it and get it nice together, and then just knead it for 5 minutes until you get a nice dough, shiny dough. So what you do is just knead that together. I'll put it here. Just knead it nice together and you get a nice shiny dough, and you just get it all together. And you get half a dozen out of this 500 gram of flour. What I've done is I've mixed up some beforehand, so I'll have that ready. Now what you do is just keep on mixing this up for 5 minutes and it'll come to a nice shiny dough. Now what I'll do is I'll put this one back in here again. And what I've done beforehand was I've already made one beforehand, so I'll show you how it is. This is how it comes after it's been kneaded for 5 minutes. A nice shiny dough. I'm going to divide this into 6 pieces. So what I do is after I've kneaded that, that's how it comes after. It's just nice, and I've just cut it in halves. And then I'm going to make 3 pieces on this side and 3 pieces on this side. So that makes my half a dozen of calzones. So what I do is now I just go like that, and I put them on a floured cloth. Just have them like that until they double in size, which would take about 40 to 45 minutes. There they go. And I'll sprinkle a little bit of flour on top of them so they won't stick. Put a little bit of flour on top of them, cover them up with a cloth, and just leave them there while I do all my filling. I'll just cover them up and they'll just double in size in about 40 to 45 minutes. I'm just going to wipe my hands. I've already prepared the filling. Now I'll show you what I've done with the filling. I've got here prepared already. I've got an onion, a small onion. I'll just put this here. A small onion I've chopped. I've chopped a cup of red capsicum, and I've done about half a dozen shallots, green and the white part and a whole lot. And I've done that in the pan first, and I've cooked it for about 5 minutes. After it's been softened up and cooked for 5 minutes, I've put down a cup of chopped ripe tomatoes through it and let it cook for another 5 minutes. So that is my first part of my dish. Then I've already done here, I have browned 500 gram of pork mince. Now you don't have to have pork mince if you don't want it. You can have beef, or you can have beef and pork, or maybe you can have like a, oh well, I don't know, whatever you want to have. Anyhow, now with this here, I'm going to add, I don't know whether you like it, but I'm going to add some fennel seed. Fennel seed and pork go very well. It gives it a nice flavour, not too many, just a few. If you don't like it, you don't have to put them in. Now, I'm going to have some nice cracked pepper in this because that goes very well, and I like to have a good bit of a nice teaspoon of cracked pepper in that. You can also add to this dish some red chili if you like a red chili. I don't particularly put it in, but you can if you want to. I don't put a lot of salt because I've got some green olives in the filling. The green olives have got the extra salt to it, so that's why I don't like to put a lot of salt in it. But I like to add a lot of nice cracked pepper, which gives it a nice flavour to it. Now what I do is I put all this together and mix it all together with all the capsicums and the shallots, and make a mixture of a whole lot put all together, which this will be my filling. Once I've put it all together, the dough has already been, I had some prepared before, so the bread is already doubled in size, the bread rolls. So that's my filling all together. So now what we do is I've got my olives, I've got some chopped olives and some cheese. Now I've got Jarlsberg here. You can use any tasty cheese that you have. If you prefer something else you've got inside, you're quite welcome to use it. Okay, so this is what now I've got here prepared, the one I prepared before, and this is the half a dozen of bread rolls. That's what they look like when they are all swollen. Now this is what happens is I'll push it down like that, and I'll get a rolling pin and I'll roll them out to a nice just round piece to make a nice calzone. About that size. There's half a dozen of them. This 500 gram of flour will just make half a dozen of them perfectly. Okay, so what we do now is to get our filling, get a spoon, and what I'll do is I like to put a little bit of filling first underneath of this mixture. I like to put the olives and the cheese in the middle. So what I do is I do it like that, and then I get a couple of, I don't like to overpower it with the olives, but you can do what you like. I just put a few in like that, at least about 4 or 5 pieces. And then I'll put, this is where I put my cheese on top. I'll put my cheese on top like that. You can put what you like. And then I'll put some more filling on top of that. And that, you can fill it. This will give you enough for half a dozen calzones, this 500 gram of mince. So just fill it up normally like that. You can put a little bit extra. Now what I'll do is I just want to wet the outside of this so it'll stick together. You throw it over like that and just push it down and just twist the ends up like that, and put some baking paper on and put it in there like that. And you can put 3 in this dish and 3 on another dish. I'll make you another one, and you get another piece like that. You just push it down. Just roll. There'll be 6 perfectly sized rolls like that. Okay. So what we do is I'll fill this up again, another one, put the filling down first. This has got a nice pork to it with the shallots. You can put a lot of shallots in it, which was nice. And we'll put the olives in again. As I said, you can put some nice chili, hot chili in it if you want to, whatever you prefer. And whatever cheese you have, it's got to be a nice, this is a nice Jarlsberg, and I think it's just nice. It's not strong, but it's got a nice flavour to it. But you can use anything you've got inside. Now you put some more filling on top. You've got enough filling there, so you've got enough for half a dozen filling. We'll put that, now we'll wet it again, just wet it on the outside so then they'll stick better. I'll cover it up like that. Just twist it around like that and you're pushing it together. And what I'll do now is I'll slit them I'll slit them, give them a slit like this, 2. And I like to brush them with some olive oil. I just brush them on the top like that. And also, what I like to do is I like to sprinkle some sesame seed on top, but you don't have to, but it is nice just to sprinkle a few sesame seed on top and just to finish them off. Now, I'll bake them in a hot oven because you need a hot oven about 200 or 250, but then bring it down to 180 and cook them. Look, they are very quickly to cook, about 25 minutes they'll be done, 20-25 minutes when they're nice and brown. I've already got some here to show you when they are cooked. This is what they look like when they come out of the oven. They're lovely and brown, and they're a nice size for half a dozen. Someone has eaten half of this one, I don't know who, but anyhow, there's half of it there. There's 6 of them that you can get. That is a very nice dinner to make, maybe when you're watching football one Friday night or one weekend, and you could sit around watching TV, watching the football. I hope you'll enjoy them.